Angus, I'm just going to quickly introduce you. I never know what I'm going to say. I'll wing this bit, really.
So
But-
do I when I.
But I met you on LinkedIn, funnily enough. And it was only recently that we managed to get together and have a cup of tea. Angus loves a cup of tea. So he's my kind of guy, to be honest, just for that reason only. And we had a lovely brunch, didn't we, Angus?
We did. It was a good, yeah. All in all, it was good.
He's multitasking. That's why he can't speak. Look. Are you checking your? I can hear you. Do you want to just do a sound check? Because I can hear you. Lovely.
I know.
Oh no, I lost you then. I lost you then. Try again.
No.
You're coming in and out. You're breaking up.
I know. Hold on. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Right.
Yes.
Let's just keep this microphone on and not the main one.
Perfect. That sounds
Right.
good. Does that sound good to everybody else? Yeah. Thumbs up. Yeah. All good.
Cool.
All good. Everybody can hear. Fabulous. And then 2 new people have come in while we were doing that, Angus. So yes, I met Angus on LinkedIn, and it was. If you can mute guys as well, that would be fabulous. Unless we're doing any chatting on questions later. And we had a lovely cup of tea. We had a brunch. We've since had another cup of tea, afternoon tea that time. He's a bit of an Earl Grey fan for anyone else, bit of useless information there. But Angus and Angus has also been very kind and read my book, which he really liked. And he posted a lot of quotes from it, which was very humbling. And thank you very much, Angus. But it's clear that we kind of come from the same place when it comes to connecting on that human level. So I'm going to stop talking because Angus is very kindly going to talk to us about LinkedIn, which is where his expertise lies. And I'm gonna shush and hand you over. Angus, welcome to the Sales Academy.
Thank you very much for asking me. And I thought I'd do the 5 Ps of LinkedIn. Now, I've only got an hour, so if I start suddenly speaking very quickly, it's because I'm trying to catch up with myself. I might go off at tangents, which I kind of do often. But essentially, what I want to do is kind of give you a flavour of what LinkedIn is all about. And I think we have to start with the fact that, how important is your LinkedIn profile as part of what you do? Well, I would say for anyone, whether it's B2B, B2C, C2C, customer, to customer, however you want to phrase it, whatever terminology you want to use, LinkedIn is the most important platform there is. Why? Because it comes above your website, essentially, when you do a search on you. It's massively Google friendly. It gets indexed all the time by, sort of Google. Stuff that you put on here in terms of your main articles is very indexable. That's the wrong word, but you know what I mean. So it's huge. It should be seen as a landing page, not a leaving page. And it's somewhere where people should come to you and just stay on LinkedIn as long as they can. It's a walled garden, so you want to keep people on here for as long as you can. And as I'm talking, I can see that my internet is fading fast. So hopefully this won't let me down or won't let you down. I can say, here we go. Right, let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens. Okay. Right, so preparation. I think the first thing to think about is what is it that you want to do? So the first P is preparation. What is it that you want LinkedIn to do? Do you want it to be a positioning document? Is it a prospecting document? Or is it a combination of the two? Is it something that you think that your personal brand should be associated with? Absolutely yes. Have you got a personal brand? If not, then you should be developing one in order to use LinkedIn to its full capacity. And we've got the preparation involves so many different things. But first of all, have your plan. It's the sat nav. Where are you going? Set the sat nav. You don't get in the car and just turn the sat nav on and hope it takes you from your front door to where you want to be. You need to think about what it is that you do. And of course you can change direction as you're going along, which is the beauty of like LinkedIn. It doesn't have to be a set and forget. It's not set, forget, neglect. It is something that should be tweaked. It's a bit like a website. You know, static websites don't get much attention from Google, but if you keep changing this and just altering it and tweaking it every so often, then again, your content does that. But the other good thing is that you've also got something that allows, you know, that is signaled to Google that you've made changes. So the triumvirate, if you like, is Google, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Twitter is a powerful part of this equation as well. Then in your settings, you know, obviously you can add your Twitter account to that as well, which is massively important. But let's just think about this little thing, your social selling index, which I'll provide a link to. It's a short link, but basically this is your social selling index. And what this does is it tells you out of 100 what it is that index, you know, what your score is. Why is it important? Because it's 4 distinct areas, okay? And each one is out of 25. So establish your professional brand. And if you click on there, it will tell you, complete your profile with the customer in mind, become a thought leader. I'm not going to go through each one of these, but you can see that here, building relationships is because I talk to people, I comment on things, I constantly am involved in like groups. Now this has plummeted of like late, and I think it's because they've introduced something called creator mode. Okay, creator mode was there for people to create content with and make it easier, but what it's done is it's kind of, in a way, it's diluted the impact of each post. But the key components just remain the same. Establish that brand, find the right people, engage with insights, build relationships. How they work this out, God alone knows. But it's worth keeping and having a look at every month and charting and making sure that you have a base to go from. So as of the 1st of September, I would suggest that you write down what it is, what your social selling index is, maybe even do a screenshot of like this and of like this area and actually keep it. But also the first thing to do as well is while you're having a plan, okay, is just to think about how do an audit, okay, do an audit and just think, okay, you know, how many go into my network, and from here you can look at how many connections you've got. Okay, note how many connections you've got, where they are and what they do. Okay, and basically you can click by recently added, first name, last name, and you can search by name. You've also got some search filters here that you can look at. Okay, I don't want to go too deep into this, but make sure that you know how many connections you have. So you're starting from a point of strength, if you like, and then also click on the follow, on the people I follow area, and then have a look at how many people are following you, and you know, followers versus following. Okay, I've currently got 14,575 followers. I'm going to ask them all round for tea tomorrow. I'm not. The idea is that followers is the more important aspect right now, which sounds counterintuitive. LinkedIn are trying hard to get people to actually follow rather than connect first. Okay, so those are the basics. Also, in your settings, which are up here, okay, if you go into privacy and settings, there are some settings in there that you should be looking about as well as part of your preparation. One of the first ones to look at is this little thing here, edit public profile. You can see that my URL here is crisp. It's just my name. Okay, some people have numbers after their name and I call them the prison numbers. So make sure you've not got a prison number. Okay, you click on this and then it will say edit your custom URL here. Okay, you get 2 profiles on LinkedIn. You get a public profile, the profile that people see when they're not logged into LinkedIn, and it's incredibly rich, but you have the choice here, okay, of what you allow people to see and not to see. Okay, so you can make sure that this one is clicked on public, all LinkedIn members on or off LinkedIn. There's no point being on here if you're locking yourself in a cupboard and people can't see you. And then you get the choice to actually show these aspects in your public profile. And you'll see from here on the left-hand side that my public profile is very rich. It's almost as rich as the online version. Slightly different setup in terms of what you can see, but essentially it's my main profile. And here is something that people never ever look at. Create a badge. Okay, and when you go into here, you get these little visuals and some code. You can put these onto a website. You can put these onto an email signature. And what I tend to do is just do a little snip of that and use that as a bit of marketing collateral. Very, very simple, very, very easy. And again, not a lot of people know that. I feel like Michael Caine all of a sudden. I didn't mean to do that. But very, very rarely used. Okay. So those are the basics of like that area. What you need to be doing really, and it takes quite a while to go through and sort these out properly, but you've got all of these areas here under your settings, and one of them is visibility. Okay, profile viewing options, always have it in full fat mode. Otherwise, when you look at their profile, if you're trying to be sneaky and look at somebody's profile without them seeing you, then be aware that once you've chosen 2 or 3, you won't be able to see then who's looked at your profile before you then switch it back on, if that makes sense. There's one really, really good one down here, which I want you to have a look at, which is, I can't find it all of a sudden. Where has it gone? It is people also viewed. Okay. Oh, where's that gone then? I'll find that in a second. Hold on. Are people also viewed? Switch this to no. Okay. Switch people also viewed to no. And when you go into your profile on the right hand side, it will have a banner that says people also viewed. Now, you don't want that on. Why? Because if people aren't enthralled by the content of your profile, they'll go, oh, Bury yawn, bored with this, and they'll go to the right and they'll look at that list of people also viewed. Invariably, they'll be your competitors. Okay, so you want to make sure that you've actually got that set to off, and it will be down here. If I'm rushing, it's because I know that I'm trying to get so much in here. Okay, right. So you will get some slides after this, okay, and they will give you the short links to the SSI Social Selling Index and also to your followers and your connections as well. Okay, and I hope, and any questions at any point, you know, please do connect and ask me. Right. I'm having the whirling bit on my broadband, which is there. Okay, right. So let's just talk about positioning. Okay, we live in the attention economy. Okay, we're living in so it's really important that it's not what we do, it's how much attention we can get from people. We're trying to get the attention of our prospect market, okay? And LinkedIn is one of the best ways of doing that. And I'm going to go old school here. Postcards and anything with a stamp. And some of you may know what one of these is. I'm going to show you one of these. It's a pen, okay? And you use that with the postcard. And you put a stamp on it. Gets the best, but the best reaction when you combine it with digital. I call it Diana marketing, digital and analog combined. Okay. And you find the addresses by talking to people here on LinkedIn, by simply having that conversation and asking them for their address if it's not already obvious. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at basically the profile here, because positioning is massively important, and it means that you can change your positioning, okay, and you can think about how you want to change depending on who you're working with and the service that you want to be putting across. But this positioning starts, of course it's not showing that, with skills. I apologize about this. My broadband seems to be just at a time when I need it most. It leaves you. Essentially, your skills. Let's have a look and see. No, it's not showing. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on. We're getting there. 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 I talk all the time about a category of one. Okay, so I am a LinkedIn trainer. Essentially, I do B2B, back to basics LinkedIn training, and my skills, I've added LinkedIn Unlocker as a skill. Okay, you can invent a skill. You don't have to be what the people are saying that you should be on LinkedIn. If they're not, if your skill doesn't describe who you are, then what I would do is I would invent it. Just going to hang around here for a second. Why is that important? Because your positioning is dependent on what people first see of you, and the slides, when you get them, there will be this little diagram. I'm not sure whether you can see it. This little diagram here, okay, and it's that optical illusion thing that on one hand it looks like a woman's face, but if you look at it differently, it's a jazz saxophonist. So you're trying to portray that you're a jazz saxophonist, and all they're seeing is a picture of a woman, which is not what you want, not what you want at all. You want the exact representation of what you do. So skills are so important because your skill becomes a keyword, becomes a hashtag. Okay, and that's the thing to take away from this little section, that skills are your keywords. And where do you use them? You use them in your headline. Okay, so there's a lot of talk about headlines and how you should be setting them up and using them. Some people advocate the helping headline, helping people to be better people or whatever. But the first 45 characters follow you around everywhere. And if that just says helping people to become, people are going to think, well, what the hell are they helping people to become? So you want to be thinking in terms of doing words, words that are transformative, words that are descriptive, strong words. I mean, I help a lot of people across the road. No one knows if they arrive on the other side, basically. You've got to be thinking in terms of, what does this headline say to people? Okay. And the positioning side of it comes into, because you need to be thinking about how this reads. So you need, and again, these are in the notes, you need keywords followed by waffle, followed by keywords. And the waffle is what you do and who you do it for. Okay, and what outcomes. So conversations to conversions, sales and repeat customers. Back to basics, LinkedIn training and visibility, grey matters. And I've put that in because I'm working with a few 50+ people at the moment, and we are concentrating on what it is about the 50+ market that makes them more vulnerable than anyone else starting a business. So I'm trying to upskill some people into being digital dynamos, not digital dinosaurs.
Angus, I have got your slides, just so you know. So if you want me to screen share those.
No, I'm going to, Jules, I'm just going to bat on. I'm going to bat on if that's okay with you. Well, if you want to share them, you can, but then I'm not sure how I'm going to.
I just wanted you to know, that's all.
Okay, thank you, caller. So it's important to make sure that you get this right. So your banner, this banner area here as well. Okay, make sure that that gets changed on a regular basis, and it says what you do. If you've got a seascape there, then I'm going to think you're something to do with the ocean. You might be anything. It's very popular to have nice, tranquil settings. Well, that's all very well and good, but it doesn't tell me what it is, because you've got 7 seconds basically for people to see what you are and to work out what it is that you do. So I change mine on a regular basis. And while we're in this area, how many of you are using the pronunciation function? Okay.
I am.
Yeah, okay. There is a pronunciation function that if you've got a really difficult name, then you enunciate and pronounce it properly. Hello, my name's Rita Chakrabarti. So you say it slowly, but most people use it now just for 10 seconds of a bit of promotional stuff. If I click on that, it won't, it probably won't play because I'm in here. Okay. The other thing to note is that you've got this little pencil here, which is the edit function. And of course it won't work because my darn, I'm sorry about this, Jules.
Don't worry, it is working. It's just slower than you want it to be. It's fine.
Yeah. If you come down here to this pencil, the second pencil, these are your websites, okay? Make sure you've got this. Most people have it set to company. Don't have it set to other, because you'll get a little box where you can write something about what you do. So skills become keywords, become hashtags. So think about the skills and the keywords that you created, and then think about how you can also incorporate those keywords into all places. Because there's a little hack that I'm going to show you. If you go Control F, you get a box up here. Okay, and if I put LinkedIn in here, 19 times LinkedIn is mentioned in my profile. Okay, and you can see where those times are, and you can track it throughout your profile. Oh, and that's useful to do as a barometer of how you're doing. Okay, for your keywords. Also, in your picture, view or edit your picture. In here, you've got edit, and down the bottom, you've actually got visibility here. Okay, so make sure that visibility is set to public, because if you don't, what will happen is that your first line connections will see your photograph, but your second line connections won't. And they'll think, who the heck is this? Okay, so visibility is opportunity at all points. Always bear that in mind. Okay. I'm flicking about all over the place, aren't I? Okay, so I can't open this at the moment for some obscure reason, but your about section, this is crucial. Okay, so I know I keep saying this is crucial. There's a whole list of 100 things that are crucial, but of the million things that are crucial, this is in the top 100. What you've got to think about your about section. Your about section stands for address, business, owners, underlying triggers or underlying troubles. Okay, this isn't about you. This is about you, but how you solve the problem that your prospects have. Okay, so I don't care that you can unblock a photocopier in 9.31 seconds and you are the regional unblocker of photocopiers where you worked and for your office. No one cares. Okay, I don't care that you are passionate about your business and that you are really competent and customer care is the best thing that you think. No one cares. Think about what it is that you are doing for the person that's reading your profile. What we've got to do here is we've got to take people from curiosity to connection to conversation to convert. Okay, and your about section should be seen as, in fact, your whole profile should be seen as a funnel, but your about section more than anything should be seen as a funnel. Okay, and when you come down it, they're getting more interested, and you're asking the questions. You know, if you're an accountant, you know, I'd be asking, are you sure of your profit and loss figures? Do you lie awake at night worrying about this? Well, just as well you do, because I'm here to help you not just look at your numbers. I take the numbness out of numbers, as I came up the line for somebody else the other day. I quite like that, actually. Yeah, so you've just got to think about what it is that you're telling people that you do. Okay, and right at the bottom of this section should be a CTA, a call to action. Not buy my stuff. What we're doing is we're putting the human, and I'm not just saying that because it's Jules, we're putting the human back into selling. Okay, and it's not selling, I call it social solving. So essentially, I solve your problem, so I don't have to sell to you, you just buy from me. Okay, so that's how I approach this. And the other thing to think about the about section is, and again, I've sent the why template. There's a why template, not the Simon Sinek stuff, but this is very simple. Okay, the W is, what problem do you solve? Who do you solve it for, and where are they? And I mean where in the customer journey. I don't care whether they're in Outer Hebrides or anywhere. Geographically is good. It's good to know the geography of people, because obviously it's easier to work with people on your doorstep. The the H is hot buttons. What really is the hot button that most people have? And I will bet your bottom dollar that it's not the one that they tell you it is. And it's only by having the conversation that you find that out. So a lot of people come to me and say, I want a better LinkedIn profile. No, you don't. 9 times out of 10, what they want is the ability to prospect better, or they want their positioning made clearer because people don't understand what they do, or they just want a combination thereof, and they want to be seen as an expert as opposed to anything else. So you've got to discover the hot buttons. So one of the H's is hot buttons. It's how you help as well. And it's also your history. What gives Catherine or Tina or Julie the right to say to clients or prospects, well, I can help you. What's your experience? What's your background in order to actually deliver that? And again, in your about section, there's no point listing all the skills and the things that you've done. Nudge people towards the experience section. Okay, because that way round, they will then get to see exactly what you do. And I'm going to come on to that in a second. But also in here, think about, I know I've said about, I know I said why, but also think about the very simple structure within those two loose frameworks, thinking about how you solve problems and who for and how and everything else, is, writing your about section so that it has, what you do, literally have a header, what I do, who I do it for, what people say about me, because that's really important, something about you, and also a CTA, a call to action. Okay, I know that sounds like it's a big jumble, but it's perfectly simple when you're actually going through it to actually just tweak the approach to this. Okay, so that's massively important. But then we come on to the killer section, which people forget about, is make sure that you've set up a company page on LinkedIn and that you've linked your personal profile to your company page. And that's happened because you've got a logo there. Okay, I see this all the time, and people say, oh, I don't need a company page. Yes, you do. Because if I'm looking here and there's just a grey logo like this, then it doesn't give any credibility. Now, this is my education. So I've invented a school called Unlocking LinkedIn. Okay, it's a bit naughty, but there should be a logo there. But again, everything here is congruent. It reads as one piece. And when you think about your mobile device, I've lost my mobile phone. On your mobile phone, this isn't going well, is it? Oh, here it is. When you actually look at it on your mobile phone, then it reads as one kind of piece of text. So if you do it if you do it cleverly, then it looks better. It does look a lot better. Okay, having done that. But there again lies something else to bear in mind. You've got 3 platforms. You've got your desktop, your laptop, you've got your mobile phone, and you've got your iPad. Okay, they're all the same but massively different. You can do certain things on an iPad you can't do on here. For instance, when you look at who's looked at your profile, then on there you get better stats on an iPad than you do on your mobile phone or your desktop. Don't ask me, no idea, no idea. But going back to your experience section, okay, when you paste your URL into a group, say it's a Facebook group, okay, what it does is it reveals this area here. Okay, this is your secret hidden headline. This is the headline. This is what gets shown, your experience section. So if you've just called yourself the founder, which sounds very flash, founder, blogs and blogs accounting, then it doesn't tell me what blogs and blogs accounting does. So I invented LinkedIn leads, LinkedIn expertise, advice, direction, support, and I've added LinkedIn trainer, LinkedIn expert sales. My job title is LinkedIn Unlocker, LinkedIn Trainer, Unlocking Profiles, LinkedIn Strategy to Build Businesses. You see all of this. And what also you should be doing is not just having one block of text, you should be adding your services as jobs. Okay, add your services as jobs. So here, LinkedIn Surgery is one of my services. I've added it as a job. And it allows me to write a few lines about it and to, again, use those keywords in there. Okay, education, I've invented a school because, again, people click on it, you know, it's cheesy, but, you know, graduate your profile from static to magnetic. Even I threw up writing that, but it works because it carries the branding forward. Endorsements are very important, as are recommendations. Give recommendations as well as receive them. You know, I hate to use that 3-letter marketing word, BNI, but give us gain is what this is all about. You know, if you know, give before you ask. Okay, so we've kind of touched on positioning. We're not touched on it, done it quite a lot. Right, prospecting. Oh, in the notes, I give you a headline structure to follow, okay? Right, prospecting. The first thing to do is to find out who you're actually already connected to, okay? So audit your connections. Click on connections, and then you can choose, then you can search with filters, and you can do some basic stuff. You can then look at locations. You know, you can put your town in, Milton Keynes, Aylesbury, Chipping Norton, whatever. And then, okay, you can then select your first line connections, which will give you that, or your second line connections. Let's just do a quick example. Let's just go UK, show results, boom. 8,000. Let's go to all filters and let's move you lot out the way. Move you lot out the way, and let's just write industry, marketing and advertising, show results. Okay, 1,200 people I'm connected to in the UK. Now, this is the bit to think about, and I should have covered it under preparation, but I forgot, and I've just remembered. On your search bar up here, set up folders. Okay, I use Chrome. Set up folders because your Chrome toolbar follows you everywhere. Not to the bathroom, not down the shops, but when you're on whichever platform you're on, okay, whichever device you're on. So then what you do is you take that URL and you drop it into a search folder. So I've got all of these. These are saved searches. This is, I have got a premium account, yes. I do use Sales Navigator, yes, but I much prefer the free version, or rather the no frills version, because you can do so much, and you can do some quite clever searches. Okay, so that's title, business owner, or founder. Okay, 98,000 results. Far too many people to actually talk to, but I've got this list that I can keep going back to all the time. Okay, some other basic, very, very basic things. You're given, metrics matter. So you're given some really, really good metrics on here. And your people who viewed your profile, your dashboard is very important, because when it allows me, chat amongst yourselves, here we go, your dashboard. So I've got 1,050 people who viewed my profile in the last 90 days. That's plummeted, I have to say. Now, because I'm on a premium account, I can see who these people are. Who is this? I've heard she's not that good.
Get rid of her. I wouldn't have her as a connection.
Doesn't she look a bit sneaky, eh?
So
So
that second one there, though, that's Sarah Sibley.
Oh,
She's on the call with us today.
she looks fantastic. She looks wonderful. So I can see who these people are, which is great. And it trends because I'm paying. I can see who these people are. No one knows what interesting views means. No one. What they've looked interested as they're looking at it, or they're interesting people. They've dressed. So if they're interestingly dressed and they're looking interested, they should get a double flag, but they don't. And I can see the companies and everything else. But that's, if you've got a free account, you should see the last 4 or 5 people. So again, a bit tedious, keep going back in. Okay. The middle one of these was how many people have viewed my last profile, have viewed my last post. Okay, so that was 1,129 people. Okay, and again, if I click on that, I can see this is the clever one, because it's search appearances. Okay, and I can see from here, where do your searches work? Well, the 123 Internet Group, Willen Hospital, Willen Hospice. Whoever these people are, I can normally find them, because it's either going to be somebody in marketing, or if I owe money to people, it's the accounts department. But I can see here for a start that, what do my searchers do? And it means that my profile is probably spot on, because they're business strategists. I like the idea that a business strategist has looked at my profile. I really like that, because it means that, people of a certain gravitas are looking at my gravitas. I forgot where I came from there. Gravitas are looking at my profile. Keywords. This is a killer. If this is just bonkers. When you click on this, okay, you can automatically see that it's live. I click on marketing director, and it comes up. If I click on people, it comes up with all the marketing directors. There's only 10 million of the buggers. And again, I could start filtering that down by UK, by Stoke Pogis, by, Elon Deragua, anywhere. Okay, and I get smaller pots of people. And again, it's costing you nothing, because this does not contribute to the commercial limit. Other really sneaky, easy things to do. What's your, if somebody gives me their phone number code, mine's 01442, and then the phone number for the landline. Has somebody got a number that they want to give me?
01901.
01522.
01522. Boom. People. There are 229 people that have that phone number in their profile. Call me old-fashioned, call me Kevin. If I were you, whoever that is, I would I would save that search because that's 229 leads you've got who are possibly on your doorstep. They obviously are on your doorstep.
Angus, Sarah just said she didn't have that in her profile. Is it,
Have what?
Sarah, you can unmute if you want to tell us. Are you there, Sarah?
Hi, Sarah. Welcome to LinkedIn Half Hour. Hi. We're losing you, Sarah.
Well,
But
No,
have-
I couldn't find the mouse. It was all over the place. It was all over the screen.
what couldn't you find, Sarah?
No, it was where you had the dashboard, and then you had like the number of people who viewed and your search appearances, and then
Yeah.
you went in and you looked at the marketing director bit. You
Okay,
can see from the,
okay.
I don't have that under that. I literally on my dashboard.
Ah, okay. Maybe
I-
it's a premium thing. It used to be a free thing. It used to be on everybody's bums. Okay.
I think all I can see on my dashboard is who's viewed my profile, my post views, my search appearance.
Okay. Well, your search appearance is right at the bottom. I always thought that this was available to everybody.
So if I click on the search appearances, I
Yeah.
can see where the searches worked and what they did.
Yeah.
But it was the next bit that you talked about. That I
What
couldn't get
searches
to.
do, then right at the bottom, I thought
Yeah,
that
the
everybody,
keywords.
yeah,
The keywords that your searchers used, I didn't have that. Let me just check. No,
okay.
it just
Check
gets
it.
what your searchers do, but it doesn't say what those keywords are.
Oh, okay, okay. I apologize for even saying that. Then I thought that was available on a free account as well.
I thought it was too, Angus, but
Yeah.
we'll have a little look through.
We'll have a little conflab and a little play.
Okay.
Find out for you.
Well, thank you for calling and happy anniversary. And right, 01522. I mean, I've got 229. If you want to do this search, you should have similar. Whether because it's the universe. It's not just my connections. Okay, it's everybody. Now again, I don't know whether that's of use to you, but it's a sneaky, handy little search. It seriously is, because again, you've got a pot of people who are literally the same phone number as you. Now, what I would do is I'd phone them and say, "Hi, Charlotte," or rather, can I speak to Charlotte? "Hi, Charlotte speaking. This is a cold call, Charlotte." And then normally they giggle, men and women. They snigger, and so I say, "No, seriously, this is a cold call. If you can give me 30 seconds, then I'd just like to just tell you something or just ask you a question or two. If you don't like it, hang up." No one ever hangs up, because I think that knowing that you've said it's a cold call and that you just want to have a chat to them, then most people are kind of conducive to it. I could be wrong, but it works. It works well for me. The other thing to think about is if you want to go marketing, boom. And then this is something that people just forget about all the time. Okay, click on events. Because these events will come up. I've got 3,000 results here. Ignore him. But say for instance, I wanted to learn to do zero cost marketing. If that's where my target market are, okay, I click on there, I attend event, and then sneakily, I should then be able to see all 1,388 attendees. I can. There you go. And again, I would save that as a search, boom, boom, and go back to it. Because Michael is at the event that I'm going to, all right, then it means that I can message him without being connected to him. And it doesn't cost me anything. "Hi, Michael, looking forward to going." What I tend to do I tend to, the following day, I'll go and say, "Hi, Michael, God, I can't believe I missed yesterday's event." Silly me. I don't suppose there were any white papers or any information sent. And again, 9 times out of 10, Michael will gladly send it to me. I don't care about the content so much. What I care about is that I'm now in a conversation with Michael. and we can carry on that conversation because we've started it, connected or not. Oh, I'm going too slowly. Right, that's kind of right, we've covered events, prospecting. Don't forget as well your company page. Really, really important. And I'll tell you why. If I look at my company page, okay, LinkedIn expertise. Oh, should have clicked through. Your followers on your LinkedIn company page, if you've got a substantial amount of followers, and I've got over 500, then that means that you can actually click on your followers and you've got a pot of followers. Okay, you've got a list of your followers. Now, again, they're people that have chosen to follow your company page. And if they're not prospects, I don't know what are. Okay, people forget about what they've already got. And I think it's just a human tendency to try and, you know, get more things. It's like, you know, your eyes are bigger than your belly. It's something that my mum used to say to me, and she was right. My belly is bigger than my eyes. And the point being, though, that, you know, keep thinking about what you've already got before you start looking at other things. Okay, let's see if I can do this again. Okay, here we go. Because there's a couple of other things here. You've got community hashtags on here, which means that your community hashtags means that you can then see, I've got 580 followers. If I click on that, it tells me who they are. Okay, you've also got community hashtags here. So if I was to click on any of these, I could then reply to any of these hashtag sales, all of the articles that have hashtag sales in, I can reply as my company page. And that's of some value as well. Let's just go back to the main screen because we're now going to be talking about, don't forget as well that you've got Twitter, because LinkedIn and Twitter are kind of linked and they're friends. Who uses Twitter lists? Okay. Oh, someone's nodding. Yes. Yes. Well done, Martin. Yeah. Martin, hi. You well? Good. Twitter lists are brilliant because, again, you can just filter sectors. You can filter the whole kit caboodle. You can just do so much with it. And again, keeping up to speed on Twitter, there's a great search on Twitter that if you do, you can do keyword : Twitter address, and then put the keyword in, and it will tell you everything that Martin's posted on Hercelian phenomenology, Wittgensteinian, whatever the word is. Okay, and then when you're having a conversation, you're about to have a conversation, then of course it's easy then just to say, oh, interesting that you said this on Twitter the other day, and I didn't know that you were into whatever, you know. So it's really handy uses. This, in case anybody's wondering, is the new is like the creator mode, which I'm not sure I like. Creator mode gives you the option to do a 30-second you know, sort of video, but what it does is it really buggers up the structure of your profile. It puts your featured section above your activity, which means your about section is kind of thrown down here a little bit, which isn't good, at all. From a positioning standpoint, don't forget as well that you've now got a couple of other sections on here. One of them is providing services, okay? And that's crucial that you, if you've got it, fill it in. Providing services here, okay? Sorry, I keep moving you all around. And again, it is brilliant because because these pages have a message function that you can message people. Some of them go towards in-mails. No one's quite sure how many, whatever. But I've just had a review from somebody which I've been a real tart about, and I've just shared with everybody because I think it's important. I think it's very important to blow your own trumpet, but do it in a very sort of subtle way. Like, I am very good at what I do. Here is the proof. Not quite, but you know what I mean. Okay, we're going to talk about personalization, and personalization is massively important. Okay, on your mobile device, you get the ability to send an audio message to to your first line connections. Okay, I counsel you to use it once you're connected to somebody. So what I tend to do is, when I get a connection request, I tend to then reply to these with a video, and I use something called Vidyard, which is a Chrome extension. Okay, which I do a short video to say, "Hi Paul, thank you very much for the connection request. Glad that you've joined the business club. Look forward to having a chat with you." Okay, and I'll say, then if I get a connection request, see if I've got one here that I can think of. Let me just do this. I tend to reply to connection requests with a video as well. Okay, hold on. Of course, I won't be able to find one now. Now I'm connected to all these people. Anyway, that's kind of what I tend to do. So personalization of a video is massively important. And when you do get a connection request, I can reply to Paul here. If I'm dubious about whether or not I should actually connect with Paul, I can just reply to Paul here by clicking See All. You get the message function. Clicking on there, boom, I can reply to him, and I can carry on talking to him without ever being connected to him. So you can keep people at arm's length. If you're not sure why Paul or anybody wants to connect with you, we'll just go back and just say, "Hi, person X, lovely of you to ask me to be one of your connections. May I ask why?" And if they don't come back with a decent answer, or they don't answer, then it's probably an automated one, and it's probably not something that you want to be talking to anyway. Always make sure that you talk to and not at. I know I'm talking at you guys tonight. And when you do send an audio message from your phone, what I've started to do is leave a couple of words underneath that kind of gives a reference to what that audio is about. I don't know about you, but I get tons of audio messages, and all you see is a blue line with how many seconds it is. So, sometimes people say, "What did you think to what I asked about X, Y, or Z?" And you think, well, which bloody message was that? And you start going through so many messages, and 2 days later, it was, "Should we have long messages?" You think, "Oh, really?" So just put a couple of lines on there, just a couple of words, so you can see which one it's about, and they can see which one it's about as well. That's that. Participation, I'll quickly do. Essentially, you should be commenting on 10 posts minimum a day. Okay, and I don't mean, "Hi, that's great," or "Wow, great video." Put something in there that's, I know I did that to you, Jules, the other day. That's all I said. And afterwards,
I wasn't gonna say, Angus.
I know.
I'm joking.
No, but write something that's longer than 6 or 7 words. Very, really enjoyed that video. I'd like to see more. And they'll come back and say, "Really?" Or, but basically try and start a conversation, because if those people are in your feed, okay, if they're in your feed, then it shows that you've chosen them to be there. Okay, and you can mute people, you can unfollow people from these places. You can mute conversations. You can do so much. You can train the algorithm to give you what you want. And don't forget as well that when you're in your feed and you think, "I haven't got time for this," you save it. Okay, and when you save it, it'll come down to here, My Items. Okay, so I bookmark these. So I've got about 10 articles that I'm going to read before going to bed tonight. I probably won't. I'll read 2 or 3 of them. I'll save the rest for tomorrow morning, and then I'll go through them. And if they're worth keeping, I'll save them and I'll put them into a spreadsheet. So I'll just save them offline so I can find them again quite easily. But the whole thing about participation is that get involved with groups as well. Groups get a bad name, but they're good. Trust me, they're good. Because again, you can message people straight away without being connected to those people. And you can put content in there. So what you've got to do is you've got to post content that keeps the algorithm content. Okay, cheesy, but works. So make sure that you are doing things that is making the algorithm see you for what you want to be seen for, as in the keywords. And don't forget as well, on the participation side, on your mobile, you've got LinkedIn stories, massively impactful. A lot of people say that they're not good. I disagree, because my current story, how many people have watched this? Let me just tell you. 16 people. It's only been up half an hour. Now I can get a list of those 16 people. And then, because if they're first line connections, I can message them. So what I tend to do is I use another, sorry, I'm throwing so much at you, I apologize. I tend to use something called Anchor, ANCOR. It's Anchor FM, and it's a podcasting platform on your mobile phone. And you can do 1 minute audio clips and make them into a video. I know this is really getting, so basically what it does is it's your words coming across the screen in a little square. So the video is just a grey background with a line going for the sound and your words going across it. And I call them 60-second seminars, okay? And they work brilliantly. So I send people who've looked at my story, if I think that they might be of value to my business, I'll send them a 60-second seminar. Thank you, Martin, for looking at my story. I hope that you find this 60-second seminar on blah, 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 of interest. Catch up soon, I hope. And then I get people answering that, saying, wow, I liked that. No one's ever thanked me for looking at a story. So participation is everything. And just think of this as a holistic thing, okay? LinkedIn is like, you know, it's a bit like, it's a bit like the, you know, make me one with everything. Think of it as the Dalai Lama, you know, make me one with everything. So think of it as, you know, how can you use direct mail? How can you use the telephone? How can you use audio? Mix up how you use your media. Okay, because that way around, if we're trying to get attention, then that's the way to do it. And talking of media, make sure that you use your featured section, okay, and change that regularly, and make sure that you add rich media to your profile. Of course, it's not showing now, but you can put in quite a lot of stuff in here. And if on my profile, it's not clicking, you'll see that there's lots of rich media. And again, do that and add your keywords in there. Describe what it is that you're doing with your keywords. And I think that kind of ends the marking from Norway, really. So,
Angus, actually, where people perhaps couldn't see things that you'd clicked on, if they connect with you, they will be able to look at your profile and see all those bits you just talked about.
So it's a sneaky way of getting people to connect with me.
And Sue Frecklington says, because I'm just going to ask if there's any questions, but Sue says, what is rich media? So if you could kind of...
Rich media could be a picture. Rich media could be a PDF. Rich media could be a video. Rich media could be anything that, so any of this, so that's a picture, that's a video, it could be anything. It could just be, you could add anything pictorial or video or anything like that that explains something. I use something called Typorama. Okay, it's kind of, it's a different version. I think it's a better version of Canva. Canva scares the pants off me. I look at Canva and I just go, forget it, I'm out of here. But I put this together on Typorama. Okay, but does anybody know about giving kudos? Yeah. Okay. Well, giving kudos, we've got a couple of people there. When you actually start a post and you click down here, add to your post, celebrate an occasion, and give kudos. And you choose the person's name, and you get a range of kudoses to give. So you've got forest floor endorsement, you've got forest canopy recommendation, and you've got mid canopy kudos. The good thing about kudos is that much people don't give kudos. Okay, they don't give them, so you stand out automatically by doing it. And plus, people just love it. People just love it because
sorry, go on.
No, because it is slightly different. And again, try and do marketing widths while everyone else is doing marketing lengths.
I like that one. Yeah.
Cause a bit of disruption.
Yeah, well, that's what you're about, really, and people know you for that in a positive way. So, another question from the floor: what is the difference between a post and an article? Should you do a mixture?
Good point. Articles have fallen out of favour, but articles are far more SEOable, if that's a phrase. So keywords that you put in an article get picked up quicker by LinkedIn. And my tip for writing an article is to write it in short sentences, so you could almost do a screenshot of that one little bit and send it. And again, an article is a more of a considered piece, and it should go into greater depth. I've been caught out by this myself, in fact, just today, because I wrote because posts now are 3,000 characters long. No, in fact, I think they're 5,000 characters, and I was typing away thinking, blimey, I've got loads left. And when I sent it, I mentioned you, Jules.
I never saw that.
Oh, you see. As Jules White wonderfully said recently, only look back to see how far you've come. There you go.
Love it.
So basically, be careful. Don't get caught out like that as well. Okay, but you can see automatically that point I made about your headline, LinkedIn Unlocker delivering LinkedIn marketing. Conversations took, so it's just missed the last 3 letters. So I might have to go back and fiddle fart around with this. So that's a better sentence. But if you have the helping one, helping people to become better helpers, you just think, well, what does that mean? So make sure that it's more succinct. I said that, sorry, like you were all small foreign children. I didn't mean to.
Any more questions for Angus?
I've got one, Jules. Thank you, Angus. Really, really useful. I've got a sore hand now. I've been doing so many notes.
And there's a recording.
And that's a recording, yeah.
I know. I thought about that, but at the end...
you like your notes, I know you. So
yeah, I do. My question is, you mentioned the connection with Twitter.
Yeah.
And is there a kind of a setting that automatically, like when you post on LinkedIn, that it will automatically send?
You can share a post to Twitter as well. I wouldn't do that, to be fair. Now, what I tend to do is I tend to go in and I tend to share the post later to Twitter, if that makes sense. And I don't use anything like Hootsuite or Buffer or anything. I used to use a lot of these scheduling tools, but quite honestly, I spent more time scheduling than I did talking to the people that I'm sending that I'm sending content through to.
And then the other question I had, Angus, was you mentioned keywords a lot.
Keywords, yeah.
Keywords, sorry. Are they words that you set up as keywords, or are they just the words that you frequently use in your profile?
Well, it depends what you want to be found for. So, okay, the skills, as I said, I'm really annoyed that we can't see this on here, but the skills, you can invent a skill. Okay, now this is a true story. About 3 years ago, I worked with a woman who was an accountant and her speciality was VAT. Okay, she set up a skill called Vat Bitch. Seriously, seriously. She then changed the headline and it said Vat Bitch making grown men cry every quarter. Okay, her business just flew. And now she's gone back to being Little Gloria from Wapping, and she's an accountant, but every now and again she resurfaces. But she invented that skill as I've invented LinkedIn unlocking, because your skill is what you want Google to find you for. So keep that skill and that word congruent across all of your social media. So I use hashtag LinkedIn Unlocker across Twitter, across Instagram, across LinkedIn, everything. Because you want that badge, if you like, you want that label that's you. So if anyone else suddenly did hashtag LinkedIn Unlocker, then I would know about it. And it would be kind of almost like copyright. Like nobody would nick Jules's UHP.
Oh, I bet they would.
Well, they would. They would.
I have got it copyrighted, so it might help to have it
Yeah,
copyrighted. but
exactly. Yeah. So this isn't actually coming up, which is tapping my computer like it's an old telly. Come on. But your skills, the first 3 skills, okay, you can pin 3 skills, as we all know, to that thing, and you can change them. So what I would tend to do as well is I would have skills that you don't want shown, but you want to be found by Google. So I've got LinkedIn Pilot, LinkedIn Finder, LinkedIn Wizard. I've got everything LinkedIn I can think of, which is cheesy, but again, I get a lot of inbound kind of stuff coming through. That didn't sound right. Inbound stuff coming through.
Inbound stuff.
I've got
Yeah.
a question for you and everybody else, just in terms of etiquette around followers or people that view your profile. I see them.
Tina, sorry, I can't hear you very well, darling. Sorry,
Oh,
Don.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
Sorry.
We can call her.
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. It's around people that view your profile and you see them, you know, that they viewed you, but they haven't connected or they haven't sent you a message. What do people in the room do? Do you proactively follow up with those people, or do you just ignore them?
Oh, this is a good one for you, Angus.
Personally, I would look at the person who, it could be that I've just been speaking to them in a networking event and they're just curious, which is fine. I evaluate whether or not they could become a customer or they could help me. And if that's the case, what I would tend to do is, I don't like LinkedIn kiss chase. Okay, I don't like to like a thing and then 2 weeks later comment on it, comment. You see all this structure from some trainers. It takes you forever. I'd be dead by the time they ever spoke to them. So what I tend to do is I tend to go into their profile straight away and I tend to look at their recent activity. I tend to look at their current posts and I'll just add a comment. That's all I'll do. And then from there, I will then wait and see if they then come back to me. Because if they aren't making the effort to connect to me, then I know that they're probably not the connection that I need them to be.
No, I know, and that's why it always goes in my head. Well, they've looked at your profile, so there's something that is of interest to them. But then I find it really weird that they don't do anything else.
Yeah, it's just the way of the world.
Tina, they could also be looking for you as a prospect. They could just be stalking you to see whether they want to sell to you. So there's lots of.
Yeah.
I've also had people look at me because they thought I was a different Jules White because I have a common name, and actually there's several Jules Whites, including a man who I'm connected to on LinkedIn who's called Jules White.
Oh, really?
I thought it'd be amazing if we got together and got married. How fun would that be?
Blimey. So yeah, so I do tend to go and look at those, and I do tend to, again, I think there's a fine line between stalking and interest, and I just know that when I connect to somebody, I kind of want it to be a conversation as soon as possible, not to sell what I do, not at all. And I don't ever go in and, what are the 3 common mistakes that are in your business at the moment? That's so regurgitating the yuck. I just want to know a bit about their business, and if there's anyone in my network that could be of help to them, or if I could help them in any way at all. I do tend to go and look at people's profiles. I'm going down my phone now, looking at a couple of. So David, you've got account management, managed services, and B2B as your skills, which is great. But is that your category of one? I can't tell from your profile. Commercially astute business leader who connects. And I'm not just picking on you, but you've got no clear call to action, for instance. So you need to think about what is it that you want people to do? Because again, people look at so many profiles, they read them and they go, wow, this guy's or this person's for me. And then they think, well, how do I contact them?
Yeah, that's why I'm here. So yeah, it's really good. I've not played with mine in a long time, so I've made a lot of notes. So yeah, happy to have things poked on it and pointed out 100%.
Banner. Get a banner. Cool.
Thank you.
So and I'm happy to have conversations with people. If you want to Zoom me, we could do a Zoom, I could record it and we can have a quick look at your profile. Happy to do that. Happy. If there's anything you need clarification on, please do come back to me.
Thank you, Angus.
If there's a broadband provider out there, I'll speak to you first.
If you want to stop your share screen and then we can just round it all up and you can see everyone's lovely faces. But thank you so much. There is a lot in that. It is recorded. It goes into the Inspiration Salon, as Angus was told as well, so that everybody gets to be able to replay it. Plus Angus's links will be put in there too. I have a wonderful PDF to add with all the slides on that Angus sent me, which unfortunately we weren't able to show, but
just as well, really.
You talked through them, so that's all good. It will all make sense. And I really do appreciate your time, Angus. It's very kind of you to do this for us. Everything we can learn, I think every day is a school day, isn't it? We can always be learning new things, and LinkedIn's always moving. LinkedIn's always giving us a new feature, and there's lots to take on, isn't there? But the way you format it for me is that you kind of get this structure to it. The 5 Ps is a really good formula to be able to follow, which I love. So thank you so much for your time. I hope everybody's enjoyed it and got something from it. Please connect with Angus. He's on LinkedIn. He's also on Twitter.
Yeah. And I'm on Instagram.
And Instagram too, yeah.
I should have moved my thing like that.
Yeah, I'll put all your links in so that everybody can connect, Angus. The second thing, just to tell you before I leave, is that next Thursday, it's our first birthday party. And if you lot aren't coming, I'm going to smack you all, because we're going to have so much fun. So if you can make it, please come. Help me celebrate that we've had a whole year of membership. How amazing is that? What a wonderful community we have created. You're still here, and that's amazing. So I'm so grateful.
Can I just add a completely random thing? And I've been on about 5 Zooms today. I've had this banner made, okay, so it's wider and taller. So basically, I used to have a virtual background, but I faded into it every time I went back, and it was a bit annoying to watch. So, it's really worth doing. Only about 120 quid, really worth thinking about.
Thank you, Angus. Yeah, another great tip. Nothing to do with LinkedIn either. Great
Blimey.
tip. Value.
I have to have a lie down.
Thank you guys so much for coming. Hope you found that really, really valuable, and hope to see you next Thursday.
Take care. Stay safe, everybody.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.